Then, well, try to just deal with Wings in the swarm them type fashion. Wings don't really have the best here at dealing with the Broodmother until they grab a Tide Hunter. He's on the run. Lance gonna fly. There is no Gush here on the Tide Hunter, so it looks like rotation out from the Phantom Hunter. Not really gonna do too much. Unless, okay, Tide Hunter gonna rotate back down towards bottom lane. They're gonna get the Tide versus the Broodmother matchup after all.
They're gonna run on in here on top of this Shadow Fiend, and that's gonna be first blood. Just chase him down with the Sideblade.
They know that Ferrari is gonna be the first target here for Wings, so here comes ChuaN and King J accordingly. Here comes Snowball back into the Shadow Fiend right now. He goes in, Rainfire Blast, Flush Charge the Trap, and Ferrari just work him down. Another kill for his mid lane, and Ice is kind of going to be...
Get to the later stages of the game is going to be able to, surround and engulf up a TA, and she can't really fight against it as well. If you're ahead, you're just going to be able to burst through him, and doesn't really have enough to be able to do it. ChuaN's taking a good amount of damage here as we do end up getting a Ravage pop for this one. Is going to be able to finish him off as well with the Anchor Smash at the end.
PL, but is that even possible? Here comes the Night Stalker. They see Ice as well as getting just worked down by Spiderlings. Here comes the Innocence teleporting in. Level 2 Void. Shard's gonna fly. Ice does brain sap in, so he's not gonna die just yet, but the Spiderlings might be able to take him out, and it looks like they should be able to. Snowball, in the meantime, is going to be bring King J over to the tower. That's not where you want to be. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. ChuaN does end up securing a possible build, a pretty likely build, in fact, and get the Shadow Fiend, something along the lines of SNY, or if they really want to play aggressively, grab them the Shadow Blade. Oh, they're going to find Luo. He's dusted, but he's also on the run. Gush finally going to land. They do have a Ravage. We'll deploy it, and that should be enough to kill off Luo, although my brains are going to hell. It seems like Broodmother is going to fall. A couple of Spiderlings. I think it's going to be, Ferrari having to get those blow-up heroes type strategy to work. Oh, super. That's not where you want to be. Nightmare Void, Raise. Easy kill, easy. And Ice, both going to make their arrival. Tower dropping lower and lower. Fortification has already been used. Shadows has another Lance right now. TV coming in. This is the Tide Hunter. Not up to Ravage just yet. King J, though, already taking a lot of damage. Will Snowball himself as they do Nightmare Ferrari, but here comes the Shadow Fiend. He's going to not pop the Requiem just yet because he has double damage. He's going to work down the Tusk. Then he's going to pick off the Templar Assassin as Wings
starting to be able to take the lead. 1,000 gold as well as about 3,000 experience.
And they even got a Blink Dagger on the Tide Hunter. I mean, it's definitely not bad. Oh, ChuaN, though, is going to get caught. He does have mana enough to reincarnate, so he's not going to die. Well, maybe he won't even lose his reincarnation. Well, there's one. And Luo isn't there. It was spotted by a Sentry Ward. ChuaN now going to get gripped up. ChuaN is going to break very easily. That is going to be that. Although Bane is going to get assassinated, Ferrari does pick him off with right click. Easy game there.
This Tia coming and just would have been able to dodge it. So keeping this up at least for the time being. They do have it for another 40 seconds if they want to. Ice playing very, very far forward. It is going to be almost absolutely everybody. They don't quite be able to take on the Tide Hunter, though. It looks like Ancient Apparition kills off the Bane, but Shadow Fiend kills off the Tusk. Now Ferrari 430 is in a little bit of trouble. Stun coming out from ChuaN is going to be able to get taken out there. And look at the damage that's coming out from Wings. They have every...
Given how the rest of these fights have been going, Broodmother really needs to go strong in the pushing. Really needs to start pushing hard, and harder than a Radiant's going to allow. ChuaN is on the bottom lane. He's going to get jumped with a grip, and he has no reincarnation. He's going to fall to 2 raises. And this tower may all case Ravage as a response tool is definitely possible. So, I mean, yeah, the Radiance does do that, and there is a lot of potential value in being able to jam up the Tide Hunter's combo. That being said, if the Tide Hunter wants to land a Ravage, he's probably going to land a Ravage. Oh, he's probably going to go for super first, though. Grip and Soul Gush was used. Anchor Smash available. Won't even be needed as ChuaN does come in, trying to go for Ice. Blink in from Ferrari. Ice is going to get mech'd up. Nightmare and Brain Sap, although he's still going to fall. Nightmare gets pulled off by Fate. With Spiderling coming in from behind. Shadow Fiend has double damage in here. They have to respect that. And Tide Hunter, well, a little bit short of his Ravage, now does have his as well. Blink, Ravage, gonna catch 2. ChuaN in a lot of trouble. King J gonna die first, however. That's gonna be an easy 2 kill as ChuaN, yeah, is gonna respawn, but into a whole mess of heroes. He's gonna fall as well as Wings trade a Bane for 3.
Run into situations where you can't fight against that, and the thing I'm really waiting for, honestly, and I wouldn't hate it on the Shadow Fiend would be something like an early Blink Dagger if they wanted to try.
On the Broodmother, yeah, they're gonna have to do something with her really quickly, and I think that probably involves the DKB. Like, oh, they're going to jump in. Seems like no, Ferrari's gonna jump out in fact, but oh, Luo got caught by the grip, and he's just gonna get worked down by the Shadow Fiend. That's an easy kill for the SF. Unstoppable spree on, and now they're gonna pop Darkness Charge on forward. This is not a tower that IG can defend. This is a tower they have to defend through split push, and that's not the position to do so. King J now gonna get jumped in with the Void, with the Gush, and a Brain Sap's gonna work him down. For again, can do nothing but watch his allies die. Wings
Big ones are the Requiem and the Ravage, and they're ready to push on down tier 3 towers at 20 minutes. Like, this is devastating at this point. Gush on forward as well as the Raze. One more Spirit Lance, and that's going to be a kill, as we do end up seeing this melee barracks falling. And Wings are just in such a commanding spot right now. I did not expect them to do this well, but we were talking about it at the beginning of the draft. You have a team here who's been working really hard to try and, you know, get better and see a weakness in their enemy. There's the huge Ravage. The Requiem is always coming as well. Ferrari 430 is going to end up dropping very low, ends up getting a triple kill right now. Wicked 6 streak on here, the Shadow King. ChuaN ends up getting stunned on Innocent. Another couple of kills, but I think that ChuaN is going to fall. That's going to be the ulti pop right now. A is still in the base. Ends up tossing on out to A Blast. Is he going to be able to get any type of kills? Though it does look like Shadow King might end up popping in the end. He does go down, I believe, to the tick damage. Yeah, he's going to go down, but that's just the Aegis, and they're ready to keep on taking these towers. What are you going to do?
As Super, you don't mess with the Shadow Fiend. That's step one, of course. It seems like the damage not quite enough, so the Shadow Fiend has to back on off, but still it's a, what, Aegis and 1-4 trade. That in itself is fantastic for Wings. They also take the...
Have a whole other set of items on top of them, considering how the last push ended up going, and they have Ravage back up again, they got Requiem back up again, full souls on Shadow Fiend. Everybody's ready to go. You can't fight against this. They're just gonna have to be run away from them, and the only hope they could possibly have is maybe the Tidehunter ends up whiffing a Ravage, but there's gonna end up being a Fiend script down on top of somebody. I do think A Blast gonna be able to connect in the end. That's Shadow Fiend dropping a little bit low, but there's the Ravage coming on out. Nice BKB by Ferrari. Gonna be able to turn this one back down a little bit, but honestly, I don't think it's going to end up being enough. Still nobody from Wings has fallen. The jump on board, Tidehunter trying to maybe find another potential kill here, but GG ends up getting called. King J is going to be the one to call it, and we're going to move on in just a second. IG getting taken out by a very convincing show by Wings. About 1750 net worth lead in the end, and it's just really, really solid showing by Wings.
And for IG, it kind of seems like they're stumbling on what they actually wanted to do. I do think you were pretty much correct in that assessment of the Wraith King's position, but at the same time, Wraith King was like kind of support, kind of getting some farm on the safe lane. At the same time, Tusk was awkwardly in the middle, and when you have two heroes like Wraith King and Tusk, you want them to commit into one role. You don't want them to do off.